We're in Los Angeles, California, on March 1st, 2014, with Randy Benson, going to talk about his experience in the Vietnam War. How did you get to Vietnam, and when was it, and how old were you?
I got to Vietnam after struggling and kicking to avoid it for 3 years or more. It started in maybe 1963 or 4 when I was still a student in college, and I developed the habit of getting kicked out of college every year. And so I went and got a job in a defense plant, Texas Instruments. And then I went back to school, got kicked out again. And so at the time, the U.S. Navy had then I got drafted. So as soon as I got my draft notice, I ran down to the U.S. Navy recruiter and joined the Naval Reserve. This was in late 66 or early 67. And at the time, the program was that you joined the Naval Reserve. You did the first year, you had a 6-year commitment. The first year was inactive reserve, where all you had to do was go to meetings once a month. That suited me. I figured within 12 months that little skirmish over there would be done with, and I could do my 2 years of active duty somewhere on a boat floating around in the Atlantic or Pacific, preferably the Mediterranean. So meanwhile, I was struggling to avoid the draft, or at least avoiding to go to Vietnam in a combat zone, and that didn't work out. At the end of a year of inactive reserve meetings, it was time to do my 2 years active duty. And they came to me and they said, "We have a deal for you. We're going to teach you to shoot a .50 caliber machine gun from the deck of a Mekong River gunboat. How does that sound?" And then they said, "Or it appears you have some construction background," which I did. I'd worked for my dad's construction company since I was about 14. So they said, "How'd you like to join the Seabees?" And the hitch was you had to ship for 4 years. You had to assign a 4-year enlistment rather than a 2-year. So 4 years of active duty. But there was no machine gun and no gunboat in the equation. So I said, fine. So that's how I joined up. I went to a second boot camp. That was fun and games. So I'm probably the only person in the Navy that's been through Navy boot camp twice. Because again, I wasn't in a combat unit. The Seabees, CB stands for Construction Battalion. Our battalion was MCB 5, Mobile Construction Battalion number 5. We were based in Port Hueneme, up here up the coast, just south of Ventura.